Parker.
Hi, I'm Arthur Tatum.
Hi, I'm Florence Mills.
Hi, I'm Louie Armstrong.
Hi, I'm Duke Ellington.
Hi, I'm Billie Holladay.
Your job
Is to figure out which teachers are telling you
All about
us. It's
the first ever Black History Mystery.
Hey ho!
Black history.
Hey, hey ho!
Teacher mystery.
Hey, hey ho!
It's Black History Month.
Charlie Bird Parker by Jackson and Frank. Charlie Parker was born in 1920 and spent the majority of his childhood in Kansas City, Missouri. Charlie grew up listening to and loving music. At the age of 12, Charlie taught himself how to play the alto saxophone. At age 14, he had joined his first band. Charlie Parker is known for gathering more complex and individualized music by disregarding the 4 and 8 bar standards of jazz. Early in his career, Charlie began experimenting with his own style of music, gathering musicians together to play a challenging and energetic new jazz style that later became known as bebop. This exciting and fast-paced jazz eventually became recognized as an important new style in the musical community. Charlie got the nickname Bird, which inspired him to name many titles in relation to his nickname for his bebop songs. Unfortunately, at the age of 34, Charlie Parker passed away from substance abuse. Today, he is considered one of the greatest musical innovators of the 20th century. It was me, Miss Parker.
Hey, hey ho!
Black history.
Hey, hey ho!
Teacher mystery.
Hey, hey ho!
It's Black History Month.
Duke Ellington by Zulema, Gavin, and Olivia. Duke Ellington was born Edward Kennedy Ellington in Washington, D.C. on April 29, 1899, at the age of 8. His parents enrolled him in piano lessons and encouraged him to practice every day, even though he always preferred to go out and play baseball. Duke eventually quit his lessons and didn't return to the piano until he was a teenager. In the summer of 1914, while working, Duke wrote his first composition, Soda Fountain Rag. Soda Fountain Rag was written by ear due to the fact that Duke had not yet learned to read and write music. While attending Dunbar High School in Washington, D.C., his music teacher gave him lessons in harmony. With additional tutoring from pianist and bandleader Oliver Doc Perry, Duke learned to read and write music, develop a professional style, and improve his technique. In New York, jazz musicians were in demand, and by 1923, Ellington had moved there and formed his own band. In 1927, Ellington accepted an engagement at Harlem's hottest jazz spot, the Cotton Club, where he wrote some of his most well-known compositions during this time. However, on May 24, 1974, at the age of 75, Duke died of pneumonia and lung cancer. Hi, it's me, Nurse Donovan.
Hey, hey ho!
Black history.
Hey, hey ho!
Teacher mystery.
Hey, hey ho!
It's Black History Month.
Florence Mills by Nuala, Paloma, and Kayla. Florence Mills, Florence Winfrey, later known as Florence Mills, was born on January 25, 1896 in Washington, D.C. At the age of 5, Florence became a young entertainer by captivating audiences with her singing and dancing. Her first stage name was Baby Florence. Florence spent most of her life in New York City, singing. At the age of 8, she went on tour until she noticed she was really underage. Later on in her career, she was nicknamed the Queen of Happiness. The type of music she sang was jazz. A couple of her most famous songs included I'm a Little Blackbird, Looking for a Bluebird, and Craving for That Kind of Love. She died on November 1st, 1927 from complications of her appendix. Florence will always be remembered for her high-pitched voice and unique dancing moves. Hi everyone, happy Black History Month. It's me, Mrs. Childress.
Hey, hey, ho!
Black History.
Hey, hey, ho!
Teacher Mystery.
Hey, hey, ho!
Black History Month.
All right, Art Tatum by Andre, Joey, and Alfonso. Art Tatum was born on October 13, 1909 in Toledo, Ohio. Although he could only see out of one eye, Art Tatum began winning fans with his versions of pop favorites and wowing peers with his technique early on in his life. Art Tatum also lived in New York, Cleveland, and Chicago in the mid-1930s, but his return to New York in 1937 led to him to high-profile clubs and radio appearances, allowing him to become a full-fledged star. Influenced by jazz innovator Fats Waller and the sound of stride, Art Tatum also became a well-known American jazz pianist during the Harlem Renaissance. His famous songs include Blue Sky and Yesterday. On November 5, 1956, at the age of 47, Art Tatum died in Los Angeles, California, from kidney disease.
Hi, it's me, Miss Wilson.
Hey, hey, ho!
Black History.
Hey, hey, ho!
Teacher Mystery.
Hey, hey, ho!
Black History Month.
Billie Holiday by Bryn, Nick, and Josh. Billie Holiday was born April 7th, 1915 in Philadelphia. She was considered one of the best jazz singers of all time. She was known for her distinctive, expressive, and sometimes melancholy voice. She was an African-American woman singer who worked with an orchestra that was predominantly white. Her most famous songs are Good Child and Strange Fruit. Billie died on July 17, 1959 in New York City. It's me, Miss Chase Vivas.
Hey, hey, ho!
Black History.
Hey, hey, ho!
Teacher Mystery.
Hey, hey, ho!
Black History Month.
Louie Armstrong by Seth, Nathaniel, and Ari. Louie Armstrong was born on August 4th, 1901 in New Orleans, Louisiana. Louie was a trumpet player and singer. In 1926, as he was recording, his music sheets fell off the stand, which resulted in him having to make up the rest of the words. Heebie-Jeebies turned out to climb at the top of the music charts. He also wrote many famous songs, including Someday You'll Be Sorry and When the Saints. Louie spent most of his life in New Orleans, where he helped change music such as jazz and blues and made them more popular. Louie became one of the most famous trumpet players ever. He died on July 6, 1971 in Corona, New York City, New York. Even after his death, Louie Armstrong played a very important part in the civil rights movement. He was used as an important symbol in the African American community due to his ability to overcome segregation and become a successful musician during his time. It was me, Mr. Bright.
And you're I can do it.
Oh, yeah.
Hi, I'm Billie Holiday.
This,
Okay.
3, 2, 1.
Can you do it all the way down?
We need some more. Guys, hey, which teachers
are,
3 months. Except you're not supposed to go down.
It's different kids.
No one stop hitting the drum.